we live in the world of targets, but sometimes if we follow those, sometimes they put us in a real bad positions because we have got to deal with those same problems again. Right. The lack of knowledge about what other services do, again, I've covered that point again. And the confusing language by services, I think is one of the other areas, knowing that our community is very diverse. I'll just give you an example of where I come from, that things may be like clients and customers, sometimes they are sort of involved with the exchange of money. You know, if I'm a client, if I'm a customer, I should be seen sometimes as buying. So I think that area we need to really make our people know that even when we say you are customers, you are clients here, you don't pay. What we do is you get that service. Moving on with the presentation to the important point of how we can actually overcome those barriers that I was talking about on the communication gap and the communication barriers, is the first step that we have got to do is to actually accept that there are shortcomings. And we should encourage listening and understanding from the concerns that actually come from the community. And the community is there, and I think if the strength of the community can actually be harnessed very well, I think it puts the services in a stronger position. And there has to be building of trust and relationships within the community. And there should be more consultations so that before we implement certain things, we know that the things that we are actually implementing are the right things. The top point that is there, I think it has already been suggested by somebody, that there has got to be one-stop approaches, maybe, where people go there and all their problems can be dealt within that particular one-stop shop. And the point of the joint-up approach, that services actually know what the other service provider is doing. And the community should be engaged more, and there should be clear complaints procedures and feedback procedures after complaints, so that the community can actually know what has happened, whether they are wrong or where they need to participate more. And the second point was, the second last point is the bottom-up approach, so that we take into consideration most of the things that come from the community. And then the last point is that we need service provision that encourages the community to participate, so that our service providers actually mirror our community. Right. I'll now pass you on to my colleague Naim, who will talk about the future of this project.
Thank you very much, Farai and Diare. As mentioned, I'm going to talk about the future of our group, which was brought together by a wonderful initiative from STAR, and it was called Boost, which was described in detail by Sherilyn and by other colleagues. During our last 20 weeks training and discussions among ourselves as the representatives from different communities and with the staff from service providers, the biggest barrier, as mentioned before, which was identified, is the communication between the services in the communities. We know that services are trying hard to communicate, but yet some of the messages are not getting to some people or to different communities in some cases. We also know that there is nothing like a universal solution for a problem which will work for everyone in any case. We always have to change it as per the needs, and we have experienced it times and times during past. Lots of what is done in the past from similar exercises became obvious today. Now we know how important it is. For example, if people do not have time to visit services in person, it does not mean that they cannot access it. They can access it online, on the phone, by post, and and lots of other means whenever it is convenient for them. We have to have disabled accesses to our services because disabled people are not able to access the services from normal entrances. We have the facility to provide enlarged font if someone is not able to read small fonts. And many more examples can be found in today's services, which is a great achievement, and made it possible for lots of people to access the services and to use it. But as I said, we know how important it is now. But looking in the past, there was a certain stage in time where these services were not available, and lots of people were not able to access the services just because of these facilities were not there. So during the time, people realized that we need to have it. There is nothing like obvious. There is always room for improvement, and they did changes, and those changes made a lot of difference for lots of people who were not able to use, and then just one change made it possible for them to bring a big change in their lives. To conclude, our group decided to create a form which we call Leicester Active Community Form for the future, because Boost is going to over today, but we have to continue it. We can't stop at this stage. The purpose of the form is to work collaboratively with the communities and the services, to pass the messages of the services to the communities in a manner that they understand and work for them. Because as we said, there is nothing universal. We have to change it as per the needs. To meet on a regular basis and to raise issues from different communities, and then to find solution for it using each other's expertise and experiences, as well as to identify gaps and to come up with working and practical solutions for those gaps. Above all, to provide a relying point for the services, to contact and consult if they need to find solution for problems faced by communities through communities. So if we want to put it in short, it will be, we would like to help you to help us. Thank you very much.